Oh, excuse me, guys, watch out. Hey, whoa! What's going on? What's the deal? Get out of here! Medical! Watch your head. Watch your head. Come on. Get her up. Get her up. Okay. Watch your head. Watch your head. Easy. RHEA.
The wrestling world was rocked to its core as shocking new images surfaced from the hospital, showing RHEA Ripley battling a devastating injury that threatens not just her career, but her very sight. Known for her fearlessness and raw strength, RHEA now finds herself in a position no one ever imagined, struggling with an injury so severe it could leave her blind. This revelation has sent fans into a frenzy, with emotions running high as the beloved WWE star faces a reality far removed from the world of championships and roaring crowds. This isn't just an injury, it's a potential turning point that could redefine the trajectory of her life, her career, and her legacy. Just days ago, RHEA Ripley, the indomitable force of the WWE ring, was written off television after an explosive attack on WWE NXT. It was a dramatic moment that left fans on the edge of their seats, but the reality of her situation is far more harrowing. RHEA, a former WWE Women's World Champion, was ambushed by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in an unexpected backstage attack that left her severely bloodied, bruised, and incapacitated.
Plans. If you're wondering why RHEA Ripley isn't working Crown Jewel, well, as reported earlier this week, she is dealing with a new injury, and the Wrestling Observer reports that Ripley's inability to work led to a new match. The WWE's Crown Jewel plans have changed as Ripley was slated to work a singles match with Raquel Rodriguez. Although not confirmed, it appears that the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title bout replaced the planned singles match. Of course, we will be providing a good, bad, and ugly review of Crown.
Initially, fans assumed this was all part of a storyline until the WWE confirmed that RHEA had suffered a fractured orbital bone, a serious injury that could have long-term consequences. Renowned wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer later reported that the injury is indeed legitimate, confirming the worst fears. RHEA Ripley will be out of action for an indefinite period. The leaked images reveal just how intense and painful her condition is. RHEA, always known for her powerful presence, looks vulnerable and almost unrecognizable as she lies in a hospital bed, visibly bruised with swelling around her eye. These photos reveal the full extent of the damage she suffered, with the injury looking far worse than fans initially anticipated. It's a shocking sight for anyone who has followed her career and witnessed her dominance in the ring. For fans used to seeing her as an unstoppable force,
Ross Sapp of Fightful saying that the x-rays used in the photo on WWE socials is a legit photo of RHEA's orbital bone and the broken bits, all of it. And when it comes to the segment that wrote RHEA Ripley off, it was done as a way of explaining why she's not going to be on TV for a little while.
Fightful said RHEA Ripley's bloody appearance following the attack as well, because I feel like that was a thing a lot of people like, oh, that's quite a bit of blood for a segment like this. RHEA Ripley's, this comes from Fightful, that bloody appearance following an attack by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez drew concern backstage. However, the segment was greenlit by a higher power, meaning Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Lee Fitting, or a CW executive approved the segment itself.
These images bring a stark reminder of the human cost of a life in wrestling. In the wrestling world, injuries are part of the job, but the severity of RHEA's injury has brought out concern from fans and colleagues alike. This isn't just a broken bone, it's an injury that could change the course of her life. The fractured orbital bone is a fragile area, and any further complications could result in a partial or complete loss of vision. RHEA Ripley's supporters, both in and out of the wrestling community, are rallying around her, sending messages of love, support, and hope that she will recover fully and return stronger than ever. RHEA is one of the toughest people I know, said a WWE insider close to her. But this injury, it's on another level. It's a reminder that even the strongest among us are vulnerable. RHEA has always been known for her resilience, her grit, and her refusal to back down from any challenge. This latest hurdle is one that she'll need all of that inner strength to overcome. For someone who has pushed her body to the limit, match after match, night after night, this kind of setback is no small matter. I've always known the risks, RHEA once said in an interview, reflecting on the physical toll of her career. Every time I step into that ring, I know there's a chance I could get hurt, but that's what it takes to do what I love.
Our first story looks at sad news regarding RHEA Ripley. Now, when RHEA Ripley was busted open on NXT this week, it seemed like a way to further the angle between herself and Liv Morgan. However, new reports have surfaced relating to Ripley, and it appears that Ripley is now legitimately injured. WWE were actually first to break the news over on X, and they revealed that the former women's champion will be out of action for an undisclosed amount of time. Following last night's brutal attack at the hands of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in the NXT parking lot, Rhea Ripley has suffered a fractured right orbital socket and will be out of action for an undisclosed amount of time.
Her fans know this all too well. They know the sacrifices she's made to get where she is, and this injury serves as a reminder of the high price she's paid. As the images of her injury circulate, fans have been vocal in their support, flooding social media with messages of encouragement and positivity. Many have commented on how surreal it is to see Rhea, a woman who seemed invincible, in such a vulnerable state. It's heartbreaking, one fan wrote. Rhea's always been a fighter, and to see her like this, it just doesn't feel real. Others have expressed their admiration for her strength and resilience, confident that she will fight her way back from this injury. Rhea Ripley isn't just a wrestler, she's a warrior, wrote another supporter. If anyone can overcome this, it's her. The implications of this injury extend beyond the physical. Being sidelined from the ring could affect Rhea's career in ways that fans might not realize. Wrestling isn't just a job. For stars like Rhea, it's their life, their passion, their identity. The idea of being away from the ring for an extended period, especially in the midst of a career as hot as hers, is a bitter pill to swallow. She was on top of her game, making waves in a way we haven't seen in a long time, said a WWE analyst. To see her sidelined like this, especially with the possibility of losing her vision, it's unimaginable. Rhea's absence from WWE will leave a noticeable void. Not
hard back in the day. It was, you could go to Austin, Texas tonight. Hey, Doc, I hurt my back, Okay, Piper or Hogan, here's 30 perks. And the next night you're in Chicago. Hey, Doc, I hurt my back. Oh, okay. Every single town, there was a doctor, and that's how this whole thing got started, and then, all of a sudden it ends, for whatever reason. You go get a couple DUIs or you get in a fight and hurt somebody really bad, or whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden you're either too old or you get injured or you hurt somebody, you do some stupid legal stuff, and your career ends. And then you go home and you don't fit in at home because you've been gone for 10 or 12 years and your wife's raised the kids. And you walk in, you don't fit in. So dad's home now, so what are you doing here?
Not just for her fans, but for her fellow wrestlers who have come to rely on her presence and her leadership. Despite the gravity of her situation, sources close to Rhea say she is determined to stay strong and fight her way through this. Known for her tenacity, Rhea isn't one to give up easily, and those who know her believe that this injury, no matter how severe, won't keep her down for long. She's always been one of the toughest people I know, shared a close friend. This injury might slow her down, but it won't stop her. If anything, she'll come back stronger. Her fans, who have watched her rise from a newcomer to one of the most powerful forces in WWE, are confident that this is just another chapter in her incredible story. As Rhea Ripley faces one of the biggest battles of her life, her supporters stand by her, hoping for a full and swift recovery. This injury may have shaken the WWE universe, but it has also shown the depth of love and respect that fans have for Rhea. The leaked hospital images serve as a reminder of the high cost of a life in wrestling, of the sacrifices these athletes make, and of the strength required to face these challenges head on. Rhea Ripley's journey is far from over, and her fans are ready to see her rise above this, stronger and more determined than ever. Rhea Ripley's journey from a young wrestling fan in Australia to one of WWE's most dominant superstars is nothing short of inspiring. Born as Demi Bennett in Adelaide, South Australia on October 11, 1996, Ripley was drawn to the world of wrestling from a young age. Growing up, she idolized stars like Triple H and The Miz, and by her teenage years, she knew that she wanted to pursue wrestling as a career. What sets Ripley apart from many of her peers is the unwavering determination she displayed from the very beginning, starting her career in a place far from WWE's headquarters and with fewer opportunities than aspiring wrestlers in the United States. She faced significant challenges, but these obstacles only fueled her desire to make it to the big leagues. Rhea's early wrestling career began in Australia's independent circuit, where she trained and competed with Riot City Wrestling. Despite her young age, she quickly
you're fortunate, just 3 or 4 hours in the ring the first day. But, a lot of these guys realize this, I have to do this crap every night to myself.
What has helped you the most in terms of like alleviation of pain or bringing back your movement? Like what has helped you the most?
Well, I don't have the movement back. I have a real hard time, just doing normal things. I can't.
From the back being fused?
Yeah, the back and
how many discs are fused?
Everything's fused.
Quickly gained a reputation for her strength, resilience, and natural charisma. In these early matches, she began honing the skills that would later make her a standout performer. Wrestling was tough, especially on a circuit that lacked the high-profile exposure of WWE, but Ripley's dedication was unwavering. She put in countless hours learning the technicalities and physical demands of the sport, building her endurance, and strengthening her mind. Her performances were a testament to her drive, and before long, her talent was noticed by wrestling scouts, catching the attention of WWE. In 2017, Ripley took a massive step forward by joining WWE's developmental brand NXT as part of the Mae Young Classic, a tournament for up-and-coming women wrestlers. For Rhea, this was the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to prove herself on a global stage. In the Mae Young Classic, she showcased her potential, but she was still young, with a look and style that were far from the fierce persona fans would come to know. Her early WWE character was a more traditional babyface, and while fans appreciated her athleticism, she had yet to carve out a unique identity in WWE. Ripley herself has said in interviews that she felt the need to evolve, to become a more authentic version of herself in order to truly stand out. This turning point came in 2018 when Ripley radically transformed her look and attitude, cutting her hair short, adopting a darker, edgier style, and bringing an intense energy to her persona. She embraced her inner nightmare. This wasn't just a makeover, it was a reinvention. She emerged with a bold, rebellious attitude that instantly resonated with fans. In an industry where larger-than-life personas rule, Ripley had found her voice and established herself as a force to be reckoned with. With her new
Now, according to PW Insider, the belief is that it likely happened in a headbutt spot when Ripley confronted Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan on Raw. The angle to take her out of action on this past Tuesday's NXT episode was a late addition to the show, likely filmed there because it was Orlando and Ripley would not have to fly to do an angle. We're told that Ripley has been pulled from this week's WWE Raw taping in Saudi Arabia as well. There is no word on a timeline for her return at this time. But with Ripley being taken off TV, it allows the Ripley vs Morgan feud to breathe, and logic would dictate that Ripley is a firm favourite to win the Women's Royal Rumble in February. Whilst fans have been critical of the feud between the two women, it does
look, she became a dominant figure in NXT UK, winning the NXT UK Women's Championship and becoming the first woman to hold that title. This marked the beginning of a meteoric rise that would carry her across WWE brands and turn her into one of wrestling's top female superstars. Ripley's success in NXT UK caught the attention of WWE's main NXT brand, where she continued her ascent. In late 2019, she set her sights on the NXT Women's Championship, held at the time by Shayna Baszler, one of NXT's most dominant champions. Ripley's feud with Baszler became one of the most talked about rivalries in NXT history. Her victory over Baszler on an episode of NXT cemented her place as a top talent and marked a significant milestone in her career. The crowd erupted, lifting Ripley onto their shoulders in celebration, a true arrival moment that solidified her as a future superstar. Her journey didn't stop there. In early 2020, Rhea took on the challenge of Charlotte Flair, one of WWE's most decorated and respected female wrestlers, at WrestleMania 36. This was a groundbreaking moment, as it marked the first time the NXT Women's Championship was defended at WrestleMania, WWE's biggest annual event. Although Ripley ultimately lost the match, her performance against Flair showcased her talent and resilience to a worldwide audience. Wrestling Charlotte on such a grand stage proved Ripley could hang with the best, and it catapulted her to new heights of fame and respect within the WWE universe. Ripley continued her career with a series of impressive matches and rivalries, but her move to WWE's main roster on Raw in 2021 marked the start of a new era. Almost immediately, she found herself in high-profile feuds with some of WWE's biggest names, including Asuka and Nikki Ash. She quickly captured the Raw Women's Championship.
That's right, my friends. Today we are going to talk about some sad news, but it's also going to launch into a rant that I wanted to do anyway. Actually, I didn't want to do it, but now I'm going to do it. And news has come out that, and I was actually completely worked by this, so I guess fair play to WWE. The magic is still alive. That if you saw the angle that NXT did on Tuesday night with Rhea Ripley, I'll put the image on the screen, but it's going to be heavily edited. Otherwise, YouTube's going to take this video down. But essentially, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan were just seen skipping in the always terrible NXT parking lot, where we cut to Rhea Ripley, and her face was all bloody and mashed up and smashed up. And listen, for Rhea Ripley's character, that was quite shocking.
Asserting herself as a major player on WWE's flagship show. Her brutal, no-nonsense approach in the ring, combined with her striking appearance, made her a standout on the main roster. But this was also a time of transition, as Ripley sought to establish herself among WWE WWE's more established female superstars. Then in 2022, she took a turn that added a new layer to her character, joining the villainous faction known as the Judgment Day. Teaming up with the likes of Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio, Ripley embraced a darker, more sadistic side of her persona. This faction allowed her to explore a more complex, multi-dimensional character, one that was ruthless and cunning. Her work with Judgment Day solidified her role as a dominant force not only within the women's division, but across WWE as a whole. Ripley's intimidating presence, combined with her athletic prowess, made her a fan favorite even as a heel, a testament to her unique appeal and undeniable charisma. Ripley's journey hasn't been without its challenges. Wrestling is a physically demanding profession, and she has endured her share of injuries. Recently, a shocking injury left her sidelined, with fans fearing for her health and future. The wrestling community was stunned when photos emerged showing her in a vulnerable state, a stark contrast to her usual powerful presence. This injury, severe enough to keep her out of the ring for an indefinite period, has cast a shadow over her career, raising questions about what lies ahead. Ripley, however, is known for her resilience, and those close to her believe that she will come back stronger than ever. Today, Rhea Ripley stands as one of WWE's brightest stars, a symbol of strength, perseverance, and authenticity. Her journey from a young girl in Australia to a global wrestling sensation is a story of hard work, self-discovery, and an unwavering dedication to her craft. She has defied expectations, broken barriers, and set new standards for what it means to be a female wrestler in WWE. Ripley's story is far from over, and her fans eagerly await her return to the ring, ready to support her through whatever challenges come her way. Rhea Ripley's legacy is already etched in WWE history, and her future remains as bright as ever, with her fans standing by, ready to witness the next chapter of her incredible journey.
So I know when I kick the bucket, my stuff's going to go through the roof.
Oh, through the roof.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I stay busy with all kind of craziness, man.
You know what's really encouraging to me is that despite all the physical abuse your body's had, your mind is very sharp. And even though you've gone through this whole fentanyl problem, the opioid thing with people with injuries, my God, it's so legendary. So many people have had those issues. But you came out of the other end, and you seem clear as day.
Well, I don't have an addictive personality, because I'm either all the way in or all the way out. And you got to realize that all these wrestlers, and I don't know the numbers, but, if you said football, how many wrestlers have died in the last 25 years, the number could be 10 or 20. If you said baseball, the number could be 10 or 20. But when you say wrestling in the last 30 years, it's a couple hundred.